guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back here in the driveway as always, and today we're bringing you a video on the 2023 Corvette C8. So the funny thing is, I've actually never been a Corvette fan. I've always had a very deep respect for them because of their performance and racing legacy, but to say that I was genuinely a fan of the Corvette would be a complete overstatement. That is until the C8. So the C8 has pretty much changed everything in regards to the Corvette. And today we're going to check it out. And today I'm going to answer the question of why I no longer want a C8 Z06. So let's get into it. All right, so let me start out by saying that there is no reality where I'm going to turn down a C8 Z06, right? It's obviously a vastly superior vehicle. And if you go on YouTube and just do a quick search, you'll see that they pretty much destroy everything they line up against. But I'm sure if you're watching this video, chances are you've already seen or read just about everything there is on the new Z06. So the video obviously today is not about that. What it is about is why this car scratches the supercar itch. So first things first, let's talk about some specs. This has a 6.2 liter V8 putting out 495 horsepower, 465 foot-pounds of torque with an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. This particular one has the Z51 performance package. It's in the 3LT trim, which just means that it has a bunch of creature comforts and some nice features that you've come to know and love in modern cars. And although I'm not really going to be talking about them all that much today, I am going to just kind of rattle off a few of them because I do honestly believe that it makes a huge difference in terms of drivability. So first thing, it has the GT2 carbon fiber bucket seats, are heated and ventilated. It has a heated steering wheel. It has surround cameras. It has a rear view camera, Bose sound system, Chevy Infotainment 3, wireless Apple CarPlay, and it even has a wireless charger in between the two seats. With the Z51 package, you get a couple of goodies. So you get the bigger Brembo brakes, you get the performance exhaust, which is valved. So this one is also spec'd with the magnetic ride, and it's the hardtop convertible. This was ordered in this spec, so every material, every color, every option that you see was selected specifically for this vehicle. And as you saw in my very first video, we took delivery of this in Kentucky, in Bowling Green, at the manufacturing plant. So we got that whole experience. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend you go back to my page and check it out because it was pretty awesome. So up front we have 19-inch wheels. In the back we have 20-inch wheels. They are forged aluminum. This one also is spec'd with the front lift system as well, which is really nice for when you're pulling out of a driveway or if you're going over a speed bump. It has a memory system which will actually allow you to set your front lift system up to, I believe, about 1,000 locations, I think they said. All right, so let's talk about performance real quick. So as I already said, this thing puts out about 500 horsepower, 465 foot-pounds of torque. This will do 0 to 60 in right under 3 seconds, I believe 2.9 seconds. So that makes this thing pretty fast, right? Top of that, if you don't already know, Chevy moved the engine now to the rear of the vehicle, which means that all the weight is over the rear wheels. Because of that, I find that this thing is actually incredibly stable. So 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds is fast, right? It's so fast, in fact, that I truly don't believe that you'll be able to really experience this car in all of its glory on the road. For a car like this, to really experience it, you need to track it. So I got the chance to drive a couple of C8s on the track when we were taking delivery of this car. And one thing I have to say is that it is absolutely exhilarating what these things are actually capable of on a closed course. Now, I did have to remind myself a couple of times while on the track that this is a mid-engine vehicle, and after a couple of small adjustments, I had an amazing time driving this thing. It really is amazing what this thing is capable of on the track. I don't think that it's really possible to experience that in all its glory on the road. So that's reason number one why I no longer want a C8 Z06. This thing, in terms of performance, I think is good enough. Second reason why I no longer want a C8 Z06. So I'm 100% a car enthusiast. Part of my enthusiasm comes from the aesthetics, from the way that these look. In my opinion, Chevy knocked it out of the ballpark with this vehicle. They did such a great job with the redesign. It absolutely looks like a supercar. The problem is, when you compare it to a C8 Z06, there just isn't that much difference. It's so hard to actually tell a Z06 from a regular C8 that unless they're sitting pretty much right next to each other, or you know what to look for, you're not really going to be able to tell. So a couple of small differences in the way that they look. Most notably, the Z06 is going to have the center exhaust. It's also going to have this little additional trim piece that kind of goes and flares back towards the spoiler. Most notably though, the Z06 is substantially wider than a standard C8. I think that Chevy made a little bit of a mistake here. I think that with the Z06, with the C8 Z06, they had an opportunity to make it a little bit different, to differentiate it from a standard C8 Z06. And I don't think that they did that enough. I think that it looks too similar to a C8. Most of the time when people stop me, they think this is a McLaren or some other exotic car. However, I did have one guy ask me at the gas station if this was a C8 Z06. So in this spec, it looks eerily similar. And I really think that Chevy could have done a little bit of a better job in terms of the design and differentiating the Z06 from the C8. Performance aside, looks aside, the standard C8 will start roughly around the 70,000 range, right? After options, you can spec these all the way up to a little over 100 grand. And that'll give you pretty much every available option that they have. The Z06, I believe, starts right around 120,000 if I recall, but it doesn't, does it? Well, it does, right? That's an MSRP, but you're not going to be able to get into a Z06 without paying some kind of a markup. And everything I've seen online so far puts you in at least 100,000 over MSRP. So 100,000 over MSRP, you're looking at almost $250,000. That puts you right in the Lambo territory. Aside from that, it's going to be absolutely insanely difficult to get a Z06. I had a chance to actually get in line to get a Z06, and I believe they told me I was 3,000th place in line. And of course, they wanted a deposit, and then a few months later, they wanted another deposit, and another deposit after that, which really turned me off to the whole experience. So the standard C8 is very attainable, right? It's priced very well, and if you can't find one used or on the dealer's lot, you can always order one, wait, and you'll get one. The Z06, dealers obviously know what they have on their hands. They're taking advantage of it, not just because of the rarity, but consider the times that we live in. COVID, shortages, dealers are definitely taking advantage of that. I'm not arguing that the Z06 is a better vehicle all around. But this is pretty good. And this is so good in its spec that it scratches that itch, right? It doesn't make me want a C8 Z06. I don't want to go any faster from 0 to 60. This has pretty much everything you want. It has the looks, it has the performance, and it's priced effectively. I mean, smiles per dollar here is pretty damn good. Where does that leave us? Well, in my opinion, the C8 offers everything that you could want. It has the performance, it has the aesthetics, and it's attainable. So what do you guys think? Would you take this over a C7 Z06? I think that's going to be a question for another day and another video. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.